This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Hello, you're listening to Animal Party on Pet Life Radio with me, Deb Wolf, and I saw the cutest thing, so I posted it at Deb Wolf Pet Expert on Facebook. If you want to look up the different types of cat paw pads, so the backside of their paw, like if you were to palm read a cat, that part of the paw where all the pads are, and I find this to be one of the cutest parts of an animal. When a newborn puppy or a young puppy, I flip their paw over and it's got no marks, no scratches. It's absolutely perfect. It's so cute. Well, these are examples. There's, I think, 6 or 8 pictures of the different types of coloration you might see on a cat paw. And they have the cutest little names for them, like sweet pea and red beans and well, you'll see if you look it up, and then you can look at your own cat, and now you'll know what kind of paws your cat has to do with their pigment and their coloration. Some cats have black paws, some have pink, some have a combination pinto, different. Oh, I kind of gave away one of the names there, but you can look it up, Deb Wolf Pet Expert on Facebook, and check it out for yourself. They're so cute. And if you haven't ever looked at your own dog or cat's backside of their paw, I think it's time you do that because it's adorable. It's a very sensitive part of the dog or cat. They like to have it touched, usually, most of them. And yeah, I think you can get to know your pets better if you touch them all over, especially places like their paws. So give it a shot. And I'd be interested to know out there if anybody has a cat with coloration on their paws that isn't in the different diagrams I've posted. If you've got one that's different, take a picture and send it to me at deb@petliferadio.com. And I would love to see it. Okay, everybody, moving on. I'm going to do a little animal news. Not really news, but I just love the name. I can't help it. So the winner of the big rabbit contest, and I mean, it's a lot of rabbits, like thousands compete in this annual contest, thousands and thousands of rabbits, and out of all of them, it's a big contest in America, and out of all of them, a Canadian rabbit from Vancouver Island, a place called Souk, I believe, won. I could be wrong about that though, where this rabbit is from, but it's definitely a Canadian rabbit. And the rabbit, I mean, I saw the footage. It's a rabbit. You know, if you're not a rabbit person, you might not be able to tell that this is the best rabbit out of 22,000. You might not be able to tell that, as I could not tell that. But, I mean, it was cute and everything. Anyway, this rabbit, the winner, the grand winner of all rabbits, the best-looking rabbit in the world, I guess, is called Marilyn Monroe. So I had to give it special mention because, you know, people who name their rabbit Marilyn Monroe get a special mention on the show. And they won. So well done. Well done, Canadian rabbit, for representing, I suppose. And there's a camel contest that happens in the Middle East where the prizes are astronomical. The money is huge. So sometimes contestants are accused of cheating. Yeah, cheating, like by orthodontics. Yes, braces on a camel, or changing the pigment, you know. And I've seen this in the dog show world. It was pretty common for white dogs to get colored whiter and black dogs to get colored black or midnight blue or whatever right before a show. I mean, that was pretty common. And I have seen braces, sometimes questionable reasons. Other times, I once saw a silver-tooth canine dog, a lab called Fido, who had one silver tooth because he broke his tooth. So it was the sensible thing to do, right? He got a root canal and a silver crown. But sometimes the braces are a bit ridiculous. And if you're in a show, an animal show, you're not supposed to cheat because it's about genetics, right? That's what these shows are about. It's about looking at the dog or the cat and saying, that's the color and size and temperament and everything I want in offspring, right? And if it's a fake, if the dog isn't really that color, or he had a terrible underbite or overbite or some disqualifying feature that they corrected, then that could be inherited in all the offspring, and then you're cheating. So that's no good. All right, there's something going on last week called Bat Beauty Week. Speaking of odd things, odd contests. And basically, you're asked to go online and Bat Beauty Week, just type it in and check out the bats and vote for the best looking one, the one you think is the cutest. Because they're trying to just promote the idea that bats are good for us. They keep the mosquitoes and other pest insects down, and they're really not usually a threat to people. And so as long as you don't get close to them or touch them or mess with them, they should be fine. And you can build bat houses for them, and that will make your world way less annoying because all the mosquitoes will be gone every evening. And, so they're trying to get people to look at bats differently. So Bat Beauty Week was on last week. Now, I know we're heading into politics, and I don't want to get too political, but I did notice at one of the parties, it was a debate watching party for the Democratic side, there was a Sheba Inu in the crowd. So, because it's a dog, I'm going to talk about that. Sheba Inus. What are Sheba Inus? I will tell you, and I will cover a couple of cat breeds today, too, when we come back from the break. Stay tuned on Animal Party Pet Life Radio.
You know the expression, cats have 9 lives. Well, what if you can give them one more? The Give Them 10 movement is on a mission to help give cats an extra life. How? With spay and neuter. Spaying or neutering your cat helps them live a longer, healthier life. And it helps control free-roaming cat populations too. Learn more about the benefits of spay and neuter and meet Scooter, the neutered cat, at GiveThem10.org. That's GiveThem10.org.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Hello! We're back on Animal Party Pet Life Radio. And actually, before I talk about Sheba Inus, I want to talk about this commentator on CNN who was talking about Trump and the election. And someone was asking, how do they keep him on point? And why do they keep him on point? And different questions like that. And so this media person answered. He said, well, and this is where the pet world comes in. I love it when they hit on my terrain. Anyway, he goes, well, if you had a dog that could play the piano, you wouldn't put him on stage with a guitar. And I thought, yeah, you got that right. When I got a dog who could jump through a hoop, I put him on stage with a hoop. So so without getting too political, I just love it when animals come into the fray. And so at the Democratic convention, or at one of the parties rather, for a group of Democrats, they were all dressed in the colors and watching on a big screen the debate. And in the crowd was a Sheba Inu. So Sheba Inus, they look like a fox to most people. And if you were a farmer and you looked out on your field and you saw one of them running around, you would think, get my gun. That fox is after my chickens. That's what you would think. They look like a very large, because foxes are small, very large fox or a medium to small dog, but very large fox who is not quite red, more apricot orange. Lovely color, lovely orange, really, really quite a lovely color. It's a butterscotchy sort of orange color. But at a quick glance, you'd think it was a fox because it's built like a fox and it's got pointy ears and a skinny snout and a very wild dog type look to it. Like you can see these dogs all over the world. If you go to Mexico, you see when mutts mix and mix and mix, the ones that survive are the ones that are suited to that climate. And so when you go to a place like Mexico, you see a lot of yellow dogs that look just like this. Anyway, Sheba Inus, they have a bit of a ruff. The area around their neck and head sort of sticks out, a little bit spiky around there. Otherwise, they're sort of a short-haired dog. Almost looks like you took a husky, painted it orange, and shrunk it. That's the kind of body it has. And the Sheba Inu is famous for loyalty. There was a very famous Japanese story about one that waited for its owner at the train station every day. And there's a big statue there to this dog to commemorate it. And it is the most popular dog in Japan to this day. And around the world, when you see it, you're often seeing it walk by Japanese people. It's their dog of choice. What do you need to know about a Sheba Inu if you get one? Well, they are very loyal to their family. They couldn't give a hoot about strangers. So this would be the wrong dog to buy if you, for example, ran a store and you wanted the dog to be off leash in the store and greet people. Oh no, it doesn't want to greet anybody that it doesn't know already. So that wouldn't work out. If you wanted it as a therapy dog, I don't think that would work out either, because most of the ones I've met are really not interested in being touched by strangers. What they are interested in is something that the breed books refer to in diplomatic terms as stealthy, yeah, sneaky, stealthy escape. Okay, so that's not a great trait, right? For most of us. So I don't actually recall, except for when it's with me, when I'm the handler, I don't think I've ever seen a Shiba Inu off leash at any dog park. I don't think I have. Now, I've had them with me in my group and taken them off leash, but you have to keep on them. If you get distracted, they will stealthily escape because that's their thing. That's their thing. They'll find a way out or under or around if you're in a fenced area. And if you're not in a fenced area, well, they might go on a walkabout. So that's what's going on with the Shiba Inu. Now, are they good dogs? They are great dogs. If you're the kind of person who wants to keep a dog on leash, then this is a perfect dog for you. It's a great little size. It'll still bark at strangers at the door. It'll act like a protector, but super small. You can pick it up real easy, put it in a car or whatever, and super loyal to the people they know. So that's the deal on the Shiba Inu. So Shiba Inus are considered a primitive dog. And what does that mean? Well, some dogs have been bred and bred and bred for years and years and years to get the wild dog out of them, right? Like when you look at a poodle, for example, it doesn't shed anymore and it retrieves and it has web feet. That's not very wolf-like, those features, right? If you look at a golden retriever, same thing, the round mouth that's really not very good for hunting, but great for carrying a struggling duck without harming it, right? Not really very consistent with what you would find in a wolf pack or coyote pack or fox pack, right? So they've been bred to have these features that suit humans, that are very domesticated. But some dogs haven't had that happen to them. So a malamute, a husky, a Shiba Inu, a Canaan dog. There's some examples around the world of dogs that are very, very, very much like the original. Now, they may not have the jaw power of the wolf or the size of the wolf, but they haven't been bred to divert the mouth to a different shape or the feet to a different shape or the attitude to different tasks, right? So everything you see in a dog, all the things we've trained them to do and all the things they're capable of, a wolf technically could do. I mean, he could, but he wouldn't want to. So his nature has changed. People, actually, I should go into this a little bit. People often think wolves will be fierce. And in the 80s and 90s, there was a trend to buying wolf crosses, which is really, really, really a bad idea for almost everybody. Because for one thing, wolves don't stay the same their whole life. So the dog that you have as a puppy and you trained and you got to know and you got to have predictable routines with at 2 years old is not the same as the dog you're going to get at between 5 to 8 when they do an extreme personality change. It's okay for if you live in the woods off the grid and you know, by your wits. But if you live in the city with other people, or maybe you have a cat or two in the house or other dogs, that personality change could affect them harshly. Like, seriously, one day your wolf cross could just get up and kill your cat because he just became a hunter. So there's some tricks to owning a wolf cross that are very, very different from owning a domestic dog. And that's just one thing, that there's a major personality change, behavior change. I had a wolf cross years ago that didn't kill anything until he was around 7. Now, I rescued him from other people. It wasn't a choice of mine. But at around 7, he killed a bunny in a park. And it was a park overrun with bunnies, and I don't think anyone minded the fact that he did this. But once he made one kill, he was an expert. So I took him to visit a friend that I'd visited many times. They had a dog that he liked. My girlfriend had a dog he liked. So we would put them out in the backyard together, and they'd hang out. And, you know, they were kind of besties. Neutered male, spayed female, hang out in the backyard together, all good. I get a call the next day. Does your dog kill squirrels? Oh, I don't think so. Why? Well, because there's 11 of them stacked at our back door. Oh my God. And we want to thank you. Would you bring him back if the squirrels come back? Apparently these people had like an infestation in their attic, and they'd had companies in, and they tried everything they could to get rid of these squirrels. The squirrels kept moving back until Mike, the wolf cross, came to visit it. Yeah, job done. So you don't really know what you get when, I had him quite a few years before he triggered on becoming a good hunter. And you might think logically, well, if he didn't hunt till he was 7, I mean, clearly at 7, he's not going to be as fast as he was at 2 or as sharp of hearing or sight or reactions no, but he's wiser. He can track that animal better. He can hunt with patience and determination. And so what you get in a wolf cross is not what you think you got the day you picked it up. It changes. So that's one lesson to learn about them. The other lesson that I learned very early on when I worked with them on a film set is that they're not confident. So we think of them as so fierce because we're afraid of them, right? I mean, you just have this primitive, innate response to them. You start to sweat, your heart goes faster. It's just the way it is when you're with a wild animal, whether it be a dolphin in the open sea, a mountain lion in a cage, a wolf on a film set. It doesn't matter. No matter how hard you try and control it, there's some kind of primitive reaction where you just smell a little bit different. You're on your toes. And that makes us think that they're tough, which they are. Oh, yeah. And fast and smart. But they're also very afraid of humans. So when you have a wolf cross, he's leery, he's wary, he's uncertain. He doesn't approach the human world, no matter how much you socialize him, the same as a domestic dog. So if you really want a tough protection dog, you're much better off to get a tough protection dog and train it properly. Or even a guardian dog, a dog that guards livestock and train it to guard you like you're the sheep. That'll work. There's a lot of ways you can teach a golden retriever to bark on command and growl on command, and then nobody will mess with you, even though for him he may just be pretending. People don't know that. So, okay, we're going to go to break and come back and talk cats on Animal Party Pet Life Radio. Stay tuned.
Molly, here's your dinner. Zeus, that's not your food.
Don't let that happen to your precious cat. Elevate your cat's eating experience with the Cat Tree Tray. The Cat Tree Tray keeps your cat's food off the floor and conveniently located on the cat tree. It's the perfect way to eat. It's a beautiful wrought iron tray that easily attaches to your cat tree and keeps dogs and other critters out of your cat's dish. A must for multi-pet households. There's a 6-inch tray for large bowls and a 4-inch tray for smaller bowls. Purchase your Cat Tree Tray today. Go right now to cattreetray.com. That's cattreetray.com. CATTREETRAY.com.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Hello, we're back on Animal Party Pet Life Radio. And I wanted to give a shout out to this guy in North Van. North Van is a suburb of Vancouver, BC, third largest city in Canada. Pretty metropolitan, but it does have mountains all around it and the ocean and pretty spectacular nature. So this guy lives in a suburb where he noticed, no matter how many times he fixed his darn fence, the bears would break through it. Now, why is that? Well, bears have paths. Most animals do. Coyotes, wolves, they all have paths. So he happened to be in a home that had a fence built on a bear path, right? It's like the highway to them, okay? It's between a well-used bear trail and the creek. So the bears aren't going to give up. So he had a camera set on this fence and he watched them destroy it more than once. And he went and repaired it and then they destroyed it again. And really it's just swat, 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 and they're through the fence. And my friend who's a lion tamer and bear trainer once told me, there's nothing tougher than a bear, except a bigger bear. So anyway, this bear would smash through the fence. More than one bear, actually. So he got tired of it. So what he did was he went out and he made a swing fence. Just exactly the panels they kept destroying. He put them on this hinge system. So when the bear swats at it, the whole thing lifts up like a door and the bear can walk through and get to the creek and then go back again. Genius. Genius. So while we're talking about that, before we get to the last comment about cats today, I want to say that it makes no sense to me that dams are built without salmon ladders. Okay, what's a salmon ladder? The salmon get born and then they return to the stream they were born in 4 years later. And in the meantime, they do this journey all over the place and they feed the world, and when they die, they fertilize the forest, and they're just an amazing, huge component of the food chain at the bottom. Huge, huge, huge component. Very, very, very important. So we want them to come back. But when we build hydroelectric dams, which we need to give the fish a way around them. A ladder. What's a ladder? It's sort of like a creek that's man-made, that's built to imitate the elevation that used to be there before the big giant dam was built. So the fish can swim along this creek and get back to where they were born and make more salmon. Essential food source for the world. So how is it that all these hydroelectric dams are built without fish ladders beside them? How can that be? And now that they're in existence, why not mandate that we need to build fish ladders? It just makes sense. It makes total sense, like this guy with the bear door. The fish need to get back to where they were born to spawn to make more fish. And if there's a fish ladder, they'll go up there, they'll make their eggs, they'll fertilize their eggs, they'll die up there, they'll fertilize the forest, and they'll feed all the rivers. And when those salmon fry are born, they'll swim down the ladder back to the ocean like they're supposed to. So why is that not now, right now, law? That's my question. Has to be done. Think about it. If you're in an area where you're trying to protect salmon and you're worrying about some minutia like, oh, off-leash dogs could destroy the creek beds. No, the off-leash dogs are not destroying the creek beds. What's destroying the salmon is the fact that they can't get back because of the dams. And there's such an easy way around it. So let's pressure on that. That's what I say. All right, so I kind of find it interesting that the cat world's divided into different varieties, and I talked about the Paws. If you want to look at the Paws, go to Deb Wolf Pet Expert on Facebook and check it out. But I just wanted to cover the Orientals because a few weeks ago I covered all the major ancestral breeds. If you're interested in cats and cat genealogy, cat history, where the cat breeds came from, you should look up that show. But right now I'm just going to talk about the Orientals. So if you have one of these cats, then you have an Oriental cat. A Siamese, a color point, a Balinese, an Oriental, a Szechuan, or a Javanese. These are all Oriental cats. And the best known of them, of course, is the Siamese. And if you think about the Siamese and its shape of head, shape of body, leanness, I would say gracefulness, that's pretty much typical. They're usually short-haired, if not always. And they have a medium-sized head in proportion to the body. Their nose is long and straight without any break. The eyes are almond-shaped, medium size. The ears are large and pointed and wide at the base. And the body is long and svelte. Don't we all want to be long and svelte? Well-muscled, but still dainty and elegant. Now, the thing about these cats is they can be quite vocal. So if you want a quiet cat, you probably want to look at something else. If you want a layabout cat that does almost nothing, you probably want to look at something else. But if you want a communicative, interactive, smart, agile, fun to watch cat, then Oriental might be your cat. And of course, as always, when you're looking at cats and dogs, if you're interested in a mutt or a cross, that's even better. So as Dr. Stanley Coren would say, what you see is what you get. If you look at a dog and it has all kinds of retriever features, it has a round head, it has a round mouth, it has webbed feet, it has a soft jaw, it has a certain kind of coat, and you watch its behavior. So what you see is what you get. You throw a ball in the water and it dives in to fetch it. You got a retriever cross. That's how you can tell. So with cats, it's the same. If you look at a cat and genetically and you look at it and you can tell that it's built like what I just described, then you've got an Oriental. And if the personality fits, then you'll know it because it'll be talking right now because you're paying attention to the podcast and not the cat. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening today to Animal Party on Pet Life Radio with me, Deb Wolf. From me and Animal Party, be good to your animals. Ciao now.
Let's talk pets. every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.